10, but as many as you can start. Get them growing, sex them, take the males out, and keep the females. Now, as soon as you can get a clone off the females, start cloning from them. You take these clones and experiment with them. Root the clones off to the side under the same amount of light as you've got the mother plants, and then with one overfeed it, another one underfeed it, another one do that with water, underwater, overwater, top a couple of them and see what happens, and grow them along. Some you'll want to grow for a time. If you've got a 2-room grow room where you can flower plants independently, you could take some of those clones as soon as they're rooted and flower them and see what happens to them. Then you could take one that you've vegged for a week, one for 2, flower them, see what happens to them. Now, every strain in relationship to its indica-sativa combination is going to grow somewhat differently and need different things. A sativa generally is going to need a little more food, a little more water, because they grow much faster than the indicas. Temperatures, humidities, these kinds of things can be worked around, although the experimenting with them across the board is not as easy. But so when you try all these things with your strain as it's growing along, your main plants are still continuing to grow for your big harvest at the end. But once we flower all of these plants that we've started, all these little clones, they don't take up very much room in your garden. And as your mothers are growing, they're not taking up the full room yet. So these clones can take up those extra spaces. And you have to pay attention. You've got to start taking records right away. And you weed them out. You keep track of which clones came from which mothers and what you've done to it, when you've done to it, and how the plant reacted. The plant is actually talking to you. It's telling you now what it would like best to perform at its best in your room. So once you've figured that out, you flower everything out. Then with your notes and with the proof of the pipe, because it always comes down to the smoking test, you don't really know who's the best until you do that. The best grower might not necessarily be the best smoke, and on it goes. So when it comes time to test everything, now we know. Given all our records, given all of our experiments, given all the joints that we're going to smoke, we now know who's the best of the best. And that's who we're going to dedicate our whole next crop to if we're going to get clones from them, and away we go with the best of the best. And that's how you dial in a strain. So ask your plant if you got questions. A lot of people ask me, and then I just go ask another plant. So check it out. That's an interesting way to check out the best your strain has to offer, and it works. So we're keeping smoking big joints here right now. We'll be back in a minute, and thanks for joining us. welcome back to the Grow Show. Marijuana Man here. Well, I want to thank you for joining me this week. Hope you didn't get too stoned to learn how to grow pot. I just about did. Not. We're having a lot of fun with marijuana here on Pot TV. It's fun to plant, fun to grow, a little practice. Anybody can do it. Some people can pull a saxophone out of a case and play it right away. Other people need to practice. A lot of people need to practice, and this is no different than that. So unless you can play a saxophone, you better practice, and then you get good at it. But another thing I want to mention, too, is that marijuana is not a drug. It's a plant. So don't let anybody fool you into thinking that it is. Because the minute that you think it's a drug, they're going to take it away from us and treat it like a drug. And the only way that they're going to give it to us is through some state-licensed pharmacy and a state-licensed doctor. And the rest of us are not going to be able to smoke it and enjoy it as we do today. So don't let them do this. Stand up against this kind of stuff, because marijuana is not a drug. I've been smoking this stuff a long time, and I know. We've been growing this a long time, and we know that this is just a plant. It's not Ritalin. It's not aspirin. We can easily grow this plant in our backyard, in our closet, anywhere we'd like to grow it just about on this planet. So this can't be stopped, and it's a medicine that helps people. It's an herb that we use for whatever reason we use it. We don't need scientists. We don't need doctors. They don't know anything about it. Let us grow our own. Leave us alone. Peace and pot. See you next week.
Me voy a